secrets guarded like gold.
My technical title is biomedical engineer. I test devices and analyze data. In science and in my music, it's really trial and error for me. We just dabble in so many things, and that's the same way. I mean, with samples, I just sample things all day long, and then I see what works. And, you know, doing science, when you're looking up new ideas, you just read journals, take notes. That's just, you know, collecting the data to look into a million different things to make something new. And then there's the actual processing of the data where you're saying, all right, now I have to get results. You know, the first thing you do is research it and see if there's patents for it. And a lot of time, very broad ideas are patented.
Patents were intended to encourage invention by providing a short-term period where no one can make money off your invention. In exchange, you revealed how the invention was made, and when the patent expired, it became the property of everyone. So patents are a balancing act. On one side, they benefit individuals. On the other, they benefit the public. When the balance tips too far in either direction, we get less invention.
It is an experimental division, so you know, we keep a notebook, and they want us to propose 3 ideas per year. And I think if it were a bit more open to the point where the whole point of medicine and science, where let's just do the best we can, let's just build on all the ideas and see what we can make happen, I think the progress of medicine would move, you know, incredibly fast. All the time, you know, you come up with something and you do the research and it's been patented, and maybe your idea is slightly different, but they might hold a patent on a core, you know, part of your idea. So, you know, a lot of times it's just, that's out of the question. You know, it holds back knowledge exchange very clearly. You know, so many things just aren't developed because people are holding a patent onto it. The cure for cancer could be a step away, but, you know, it's off limits. You know, they might sit on that idea forever and do nothing with it.
In the 1990s, the United States hatched a plan to trade the economy of things for the economy of ideas. And the man who would protect these ideas was Bruce Lehman.
In the Clinton administration, my job was to being in charge of the intellectual property policy of the United States, both domestically and in terms of our diplomacy. You know, in a modern economy, I think wealth is in the products of the mind. It's really in intellectual creations. You know, in much of the world, we live in a sea of piracy. And, you know, you can have sympathy for developing countries, but we made a deal. You know, if you go to a shopping mall in this country, you cannot buy anything made in the United States anymore. It all comes from China or some other place like that. Well, the reason for that is that we've completely opened up our markets. It was a conscious decision to basically abandon low-wage manufacturing jobs, and the idea is that we would compensate for that with higher-wage, high-tech information, more intangible-based jobs.
The idea was that they would convince the world's economies to adopt laws that prohibited the copying of American ideas without American permission. And in exchange, it would require all the countries that wanted to manufacture stuff and export them here to adopt American copyright laws. And if they didn't, they wouldn't be allowed to sell their goods, their physical goods here in America. And the World Trade Organization would be the teeth.
And the difficulty in the global trading system is that we met our part of the bargain, but these other countries didn't meet theirs. And so I'm thinking, you know, well, maybe we should have forgotten intellectual property rights internationally and gone for labor standards in the environment.
Well, that would have been a good idea. But instead of pushing for fair trade policies, The U.S. is trying to build an economy that can't be built. Since enacting these policies, the U.S. trade deficit has nearly tripled. To top it off, the whole world is now stuck making criminals out of its citizens to enforce laws that can't be enforced. It was created by the same country that defied United States intellectual property laws by breaking multiple international patents on HIV medication, producing their own copies of the drug for a fraction of the price. Free, universal access for citizens was their mission. The drug industry saw this as an act of war. Brazil saw it as an act of life.
Brazil is fighting for access to drugs to fight AIDS for all its people. This policy has resulted in controversy at international forums. So we've put our case to the world, and we fought for it.
Remixing the art, science, and knowledge of the world's culture is second nature to Brazilians, and now it's government policy.